My name is Linda Gregerson, and I'd like to begin by thanking Kyle Bass and Charles Martin and the Syracuse Stage for conceiving this project and inviting me to be part of it. We all desperately miss the live theater these days, and it's an honor to be able to join you in celebrating that art form, which is irreplaceable. The poem I'm going to read is called Ex Machina, and that refers to the famous or infamous and still mysterious device of the ancient Greek theater, the Deus Ex Machina, God from a machine. We don't know exactly how it worked mechanically. We do know that periodically a plot resolution required the intervention of a god, and that some sort of mechanical device was used to crank this god down onto the stage. What I've always loved about that is at the birth of Western theater, the confessed fictive quality. The art form is not based on deceiving us or tricking us into believing what is before our eyes. It works instead, and this is the magic, by inviting us to collaborate on the act of imagination so that we as audience members are also actively making what we behold. The poem refers to a wire and plaster bird, to a coloratura soprano, and to a fog machine. I don't know if they still use these on the stage, but many years ago when I was in college, you could order one if you didn't own one, and have it produce atmospheric fogging. Ours did not arrive. I was on the stage crew for a marvelous production of the comic opera by Donizetti, Don Pasquale. And so instead of a fog machine, we gathered together all the stage hands and loose available people and grouped on stage right and stage left, respectively, in the wings, and lit up cigarettes at the appropriate time and blew onto the stage. I vividly remember being on stage right and seeing across the stage a whole constellation of red dots. The one other opera detail here about the heroine dying is imported, as many of you will recognize, from a very, very different opera. I took a poetic liberty. Ex Machina. When love was a question, the message arrived in the beak of a wire and plaster bird. The coloratura was hardly to be believed. For flight, it took 3 stage hands, 2 on the pulleys and 1 on the flute, and you thought fancy reigned like grace. Our fog machine lost in the parcel post, we improvised with smoke. The heroine dies of tuberculosis after all. Remorse and the raw night air. Any plausible tenor might cough. The passions, I take my clues from an obvious source, may be less like climatic events than we conventionalize, though I've heard of tornadoes that break the second best glassware and leave everything else untouched. There's a finer conviction than seamlessness elicits. The Greeks knew a god by the clanking behind his descent. The heart, poor pump, protests till you'd think it's rusted past redemption, but there's tuning in these counterweights. Celebration's assembled voice.